Would you consider your parents, and I'm sure you love your parents, so I'm not asking you to talk negatively about them, but at the time, would you consider them to be overbearing in any way? Were they pushy or forcing you, or what was going on at the time?
If this, and I'm actually glad and surprised, like you're the first one to really ask me more about this. And it's a good thing. Okay.
Yeah.
But if this will help someone else
Yeah.
that was in the shoes I was in, this is why I'm going to say this, but we're great now. But at the time it was, yeah, very overbearing in the sense where, well, they're from China. So my dad, he grew up in China, and we know that's like 100% different than here. And then my mom from Taiwan. So coming to, America, everything was new for them. I don't think that they fully understood, right, the power of sports, and, athletes. So it was very strict, where I know they wanted the best for us, where it was like sometimes when we got first place, it was not good enough for them. It's like, oh, first place, but how come you didn't break the record? Did you drop time? Did you drop enough time? You're 14 years old. Why didn't you make Olympic trials yet? It was like that mentality where it's like, oh crap, I got first place, but did I drop enough time? Did I do good enough? Oh, am I good enough to be able to swim tomorrow, or am I going to be forced to quit?
Yeah. Yeah, and we see that a lot. Honestly, there are young athletes all around the country, and I do swim clinics around the country, so I get to meet a lot of young kids and a lot of parents, and you do see it from time to time where the parents are very overbearing and not. I don't think they mean it in a negative sense. They just want the best for their kids, obviously, but it does put a lot of pressure on the kids, and to be great at 14 is a lot different than being great at 21, 22 when it really counts and it really matters. And there's a long period of time in between that where you've got to develop and you've got to grow. And I see a lot of parents pushing their kids very early, trying to specialize, trying to be champions at a very young age, when it's not absolutely necessary. It takes time to develop to get to that point, right?
Oh, absolutely. And I think also, like when I couldn't swim anymore after my junior year, so I was only swimming 3 months, and the year I won state, I was actually sick with pneumonia. My parents were like, no, like, please don't swim this season. Like you're gonna end up in the hospital. The doctors are like, no. And I was like, no, like I couldn't swim club anymore. And I was like, you know what? I want to do this for myself. I need to win something. Like I've trained since I was 5 years old. I need to just finally be like, okay, I at least accomplished something, or I at least won state, whatever.
Yeah.
But after I quit for good after that, I mean, for good until now, but I was also burnt out mentally, where I was just so drained. And it was like, okay, one day, I can swim. The next day, they're telling me I need to quit or find another coach. And then I went and tried to find another coach. And then they're like, no, like you're done. But they never gave me like the exact reason. So throughout all those years, I was just making scenarios up in my head, like guessing like, okay, why couldn't I do this anymore? And I was like, I ended up depressed.
Mm. So
Yeah.
what would you say to parents then, people that have young kids that are very good at that age and you see them making the same mistakes? What advice do you think you could give them at that point in time?
Well, that if their kid or their child loves swimming and is self-motivated and is having fun, most importantly, especially at that crucial age where what happens during, those like early preteen to teen years,
Yep.
it does affect them even later on in life. Like they may even have flashbacks, and it does shape who they are. So I think if they are having fun, and it's not like, they're going there to slack off, like they're working hard, just support them and don't put that much pressure. I think having pressure is a good thing, but at that age, like over pressure where it's like, oh, are they going to force me to quit tomorrow if I don't get first place at Junior Olympics? And that's something that I felt. And it's not necessarily what my parents were thinking, but it
Mhm.
came off that way to
Yeah.
me at that age.
Yeah.